potentially use the military to deport as many as 11 million undocumented immigrants living in this country. You see him posting on a social media platform the word true in response to a question about that plan. There are a lot of other questions, of course, about that plan, like how much specifically will it cost? One immigration rights advocacy group estimates it could be $90 billion a year, perhaps. Will deportations hit other parts of the economy, like hospitality or agriculture? And can the Pentagon actually get involved with this? Can they do it? Because our team reports he wanted the military to help with deportations several years ago when he was in office, and we're told they couldn't. Dasha Burns and Ryan Nobles are both standing by. I want to start with Dasha here. So, Dasha, let's start with the confirmation process ahead from Matt Gaetz and this critical meeting that is set to happen, it sounds like, on Wednesday with the House Ethics Committee to determine whether they will release that report publicly or not. Some Democrats think they should. Some Republicans, including the House Speaker, say, wait a second, he's a private citizen now. That opens a Pandora's box.
Look, whether or not we ever lay eyes on this report is still up in the air. It might happen by the committee releasing the report. It might happen through a leak. We just don't know. What we do know is that the president-elect does not show any signs right now of backing down or backing away from Gaetz. In fact, one of his top advisors, James Blair, was just on Fox News earlier today. He was asked about this. He said that he intends to see his nominees confirmed, and he was asked about the possibility of a recess appointment to get Gaetz through, and Blair said, we'll look at all of the options. There's been no sign from the president-elect or his team that they are wavering on this decision, even as these allegations swirl around Hallie.
And we should note here, Dasha, that Congressman Gaetz, in a letter to the House Ethics Committee back in September, responded forcefully to these allegations, saying that your correspondence of then September 4th asks whether I've engaged in sexual activity with anyone under 18. The answer to this question, he says, was unequivocally no. He said he didn't use drugs that are illegal and suggested investigators have a sinister motive for harming him. On the other person that we're looking at here, which is Pete Hegseth, we understand as of today that the Trump campaign, a transition official is saying he stands by his pick of Pete Hegseth to lead the Defense Department, right?
Yeah, this one we have a specific statement on Hegseth from Communications Director Stephen Chung saying that Mr. Hegseth has vigorously denied any and all accusations and no charges were filed. We look forward to his confirmation as United States Secretary of Defense. And Hallie, this is a role that's important for Mr. Trump, given he felt very frustrated in his first administration by the people that were in charge of the military, and he wants to change that dramatically this time around, and Hegseth is the pick that could potentially do that.
There's also this piece, and we nodded to it there at the top. We like to say, personnel is policy, Dasha, right? It matters who are in these different positions because those people will be charged with executing and carrying out essentially what Mr. Trump wants to do once he does take office. One of those things is mass deportations. You know this, Dasha. How many rallies were you at where Donald Trump talked about mass deportations? I would bet probably every single one, right? Where is this nexus with military resources, with the declaration of a national emergency? Is there anything in writing right now inside the Trump transition about how this would actually happen?
This was his number one campaign promise, Hallie. This is his number one priority as he gets into office. But there are a lot of question marks still. You talked about cost. That's perhaps number one. I mean, logistically, this is a massive undertaking, and how it will be operationalized isn't super clear. He's talked about using the military. He talked about it on the campaign trail, and today he affirmed that that's something he wants to do on social media. But there are questions of legality around this and logistics around this, right? In 2018, our Gabe Gutierrez reported on this, that he used troops. He sent troops to the southern border, but the Pentagon at that time was adamant that troops could not be used to apprehend migrants. Will he push the boundaries of that this time around when he has someone like a Hegseth at the DOD? That's a massive question. Regardless, he is likely to face some legal backlash and will have to, in some capacity, work with Congress to make some of this stuff happen. Of course, he does have both the House and the Senate in Republican hands now, Hallie.
Dasha Burns.